Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening and welcome to the Miguel Show. How are you all doing this evening? I hope you're well. I am doing very well. Thank you very much. Thank you for asking. That is so polite. I appreciate. I appreciate. Oh, thank you for the compliment. Yes, yes. Thank you so much. So, it's kind of funny. Um, I I just broke the fourth wall, which is um, I don't know. I don't know if it phases you. It probably doesn't. And yeah, it's kind of a cute trick, I suppose. But mostly, I want to thank you for joining me this evening for the enlightening and interesting subject of rivers and mythology. So, yeah, you know, one of the things that I've come across in my study of rivers is just how important they are to human beings and our population and our culture and our way of life. It's almost appropriate to say that humans are a river-based people. And if we're not river-based, then we might be water-based, or I don't know. There could be ocean-based. There's something about bodies of water and people. You know, the interface between land and water is a very interesting place. It's a place where all the action happens. Um, Wildlife from all areas travel to these interfaces of land and water to get sustenance, especially if it's fresh water. But also, um, there is food to be found inside bodies of water. And naturally, humans as well as other animals approach bodies of water as a place for to obtain food. But also, there water is has a lot of uses. Transportation. What I'm imagining are boats crossing, say, the Mississippi River. Um, yeah, conveying all sorts of um, foodstuffs and supplies and equipment and vehicles. In a way, rivers are like roads. So rivers are sources of food and water. Rivers are like roads where transportation can happen. Rivers, they can be the they're definitely where things change. Um, what else is a river? A river could be a form of protection. Yeah, a river. Yeah, well, protection from drought, certainly. Protection from wildfire. In a way, it's kind of a shield to some extent. I feel more. Um, I feel better when I'm closer to water than say when I'm like in the middle of a desert somewhere. I feel like there are more resources near places that have water or where I've got access to water. Water is important for human beings. If we don't get water on a daily basis through our food or just through, you know, drink, we're in trouble. We're in big trouble. We need water. We need these circulation systems that sort of convey nutrients throughout our body. We need water to as conveyors to convey those nutrients. And so, yeah, excuse me while I turn off my alarm. Yeah, so let's see what else. What else are bodies of water? Bodies of water can be sources of story. Since a lot of people and animals congregate near water, and as well as plants, I can I can envision. mythology that is created around water. And indeed, there are quite a lot of mythical stories relating to water. I mean, I could just think of like Loch Ness, the Loch Ness monster. That's a good example of a mythological creature that exists in water. Moby Dick, another example of some sort of a mythic fiction relating to water. Um, there's the mythical Noah's Ark, absolutely, uh, from the Bible. Another example of just storytelling around water. We've got mermaids. Um, we've got sacred rivers like the Indus River in India. Um, we've got um, yeah, we got sacred rivers. We've got sacred fish, sacred like dolphins, sacred. I mean, there's so many things that so many stories that are weaved around this intersection of humans, plants, and animals, and resources around water. So yeah, we've got all kinds of mythological stories. I mean, even as something as simple like Tom Sawyer, right? A lot of it happened near the Mississippi River, right? So yeah, that's where the stories get told. Stories get told around rivers, and I mean Moses uh, was floating down the river as an infant. Um, water is significant. Baptism is important. The River Jordan, in Christianity, and there's all kinds of other ways in which stories surrounding water are significant or important. And we've also got uh, like mythical gods like Jupiter, not Jupiter, but Triton, and who's the god of the sea? I forget. Is it either Jupiter or Triton? I forget. I know there's another one. Anyway, yeah, there's a lot of water related. In fact, even like Hades crossing the river Styx, right? Even in hell, there's water. There's the river Styx, in that kind of mythology. There's something just really poignant about that interface, and it's an interface more than just between water and land, but also air, birds. Yeah, they're cormorants, pelicans, seagulls. A lot of birds just hang out near the water's edge. They're spending a lot of their time at the water's edge because, well, that's where they find their food. That's where the water is shallow enough for them to do what they need to do to hunt their prey. And that's why it's such an exciting place to be near water. So, and we're talking every kind of water, fast running streams or pools that don't go anywhere and just evaporate over time. Like I imagine places like the Great Salt Lake or the Salton Sea. Yeah. And and then of course there are stories that are mythical and fantastic as they relate to, say, the headwaters. Um, People have always been interested in the source of the Nile, right? And I imagine there have been a number of explorers who have done their best to trek along the Nile and figure out what its source is, which may actually be an unreality because there are, I'm sure there are like many like tributaries that sort of combined create the Nile itself, and it's just which stream are you going to call the source? It could be any of a distribution of different sort of headwaters to the Nile that are its source. In a way, it's kind of mythological to even think of a single source for an important river. I mean, I can imagine there might not even be one in particular. Even if you traveled up all the different tributaries, I imagine you wouldn't. I don't know how anyone would decide what is the source of an important river, a single source, because rivers are really just sort of conglomerations of different streams as they all combine together to form a river. Anyway, yeah, the rivers are just really exciting places, and water is just really exciting all by itself because of just how miraculous it is. I mean, think about it. If you think about it, water itself is just a miracle fluid. I mean, it's clear, it's incompressible, it freezes at 32 degrees Fahrenheit. It boils at 212. I mean, it's this magical liquid. It's got a high thermal capacity. Yeah, it really is just pretty phenomenal. So anyway, and things in bodies of water are remarkable too, unlike anything you've ever seen, like blue whales or gray whales. You know, salmon. I'm sure there's a lot of lore associated with salmon, particularly among, say, the Inuit people. And there are populations of people that depend on salmon for their livelihood, their sustenance. It's not just the fishermen, but it's also the anyone who's got a fishery or ancient cultures or cultures that hail from ancient cultures. Anyway, I'm noticing that I'm getting kind of tired this evening, so I think I'm going to call it quits a little early. But I want to appreciate you for hanging around as long as you have, and I guess I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.